Hi and welcome to A World of Words. I'm Vanessa and today I'm doing another writing vlog where I talk about editing.
How do you write like you need it to survive? How do you write every second you're alive, every second you're alive, every second you're alive?
Lately I have been editing the first book in my second series. I think I've mentioned before that this particular book, I have finished the first draft of it before. Lately I had been working on planning the other books in the series. I decided that it's going to be a 4-book series and there's probably going to be a second series to it. But I'm not going to get too ahead of myself right now. The first series is going to be 4 books. I had to plan out a few details in like the sequel and then the third book especially, so that I could plant foreshadowing things in the first book. I finished the first draft of the first book and I'm super excited about it, and so I have gone back and now I am editing it, and I'm about halfway, maybe a little over halfway through editing it. And part of what I'm doing is I'm also adding like chapter titles and things like that. While I was editing it, it was really weird. Because normally I go on about how much I disliked editing and how it's like such a pain to have to go back and change things and all this other stuff. But as I'm editing this book, I'm actually having a pretty good time. I'm having a lot of fun with it because like this book is a comedy, so it's really funny. And if I do say so in my own humble opinion, my book is funny. So I'm just kind of enjoying the ride and enjoying the process. The main thing that's irritating is that I do sometimes switch from past to present because I decided that I want it to be in past tense, because even though there's some sections in first person, I thought maybe I wanted those to be in present and then all the other point of views to be in third person limited past tense. But I realized that's just weird and confusing, so only like a direct in the moment reaction thoughts are in present tense once in a while, and then the rest of it is just generally in past tense, even when it's the main character is first person. I've had to change some of those things, but as I go through and I'm editing, I realize something. Do I not hate editing anymore? Is it just that I hated it when I had to edit the books from my teen years? Like this book I started writing at 15, the beginning, like third. And like it was the first draft and then it's the first time I completed the book from start to finish, but I had already like changed a bunch of stuff in the beginning because I did use this book in a writing workshop in college, so I took some of that feedback and changed some things. They actually had some good feedback even though a lot of them were really mean. A lot of my classmates were really mean. Some of them were nice. Some of them are pretty harsh. Anyway, so I took some of that advice and applied it to the story. And so basically what I'm trying to say by rambling this much, like the beginning part, I'd already done a whole lot to it. And then the part I'm at now, for reasons I'm not going to go into, I couldn't physically write for a while. I guess I'm going into it. I had an injury that I'm still kind of recovering from that prevented me from actually like typing and writing for a very long time. So like I had MP3 recordings where I would like literally go scene by scene and say exactly what I wanted to happen in that scene, the major emotions in that scene, like everything basically except for like literally writing the scene. And so then I got back, I have like a ton of notes. Each scene in particular, everything was like planned to a T basically. So I had like majorly plotted out this book by the time that I had written it. And then while writing, my usual process is that while I'm writing a book, I like to read the scene before, or maybe a couple scenes before, or read slow down. Already read what I'd written in my most recent writing session. So I would have written it, and then I would have read over it, and then I would have fixed anything I didn't like. That usually doesn't take me very long, and then I would go into my current scene that I need to get done. I guess it was already kind of gone over before. I didn't realize quite how much I had done, because now when I'm going through and editing it, it's like not that bad at all. All I'm doing is like, first I'm changing the tense, and then there are a few clunky sentences that I'm fixing here and there, It's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, so it's actually not that bad, and it's been kind of a breeze, and I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I'm really looking forward to each new editing session. So I don't know if it's just because I planned out my book completely, or if I just changed as a writer and now I don't mind editing, because I thought I hated it, and I'm kind of having a mini identity crisis because I thought I hated editing, but maybe I just hate revising. Revising is different than editing. Maybe editing's not so bad since I'm now a complete and utter plotter. Because, again, I am writing series, so I want to be able to foreshadow things. Because of what a mess the books I finished as a teenager, there were 2 books that I finished as a teenager were, now I plot everything out so that it makes sense going forward. And I usually stick to my outlines too. I know a lot of people say the problem with plotting is that it stifles your creativity or whatever, but my creativity comes from the brainstorming section of it. That's where I pour all of my creativity into the brainstorming section, and then when it comes to write, I add creative things in the moment and fun things like that. But I don't, or lately in the 2 books that I've worked on, that I've been working on, I haven't really changed things that much. It's not just because I feel like I have to stick to the outline, it's because I generally want to stick to the outline, and I'm excited about the outline I've created, so I don't want to change it. And I always tell myself if I come up with an idea that's better than my outline, I can do it. But so far I haven't come up with something better, and so I haven't had to deal with that. I guess that's good, because I'm really excited about the ideas that I do have, and I'm super excited about the book I'm working on. It is halfway done being edited, and on a really good day, I do 3 chapters a day. And there are somewhere between 25 and 27 chapters, I think, because I'm trying to keep the chapters fairly short, trying to keep them somewhere between 10 and 20 pages in the book. Basically, yeah, I'm actually having a pretty good time editing, and I'm shocked by this. And I think it just comes down to the fact that I plotted out the book so well, and the first draft I skipped a few scenes, and so in the last couple months or so, gone back and added all the scenes I skipped. So I guess I had done more editing than I thought along the way, and I know people tell you not to edit along the way because you'll get attached to the scenes and all of that stuff. I've heard the advice that you just write the first draft, and then don't even look at it, and then come back, and then you can look at it, and then you can edit it, and then you can change things. That way you can delete scenes without getting attached to them. That doesn't work for me, because I feel if I go back months later, or even a year later when I finally finish the thing, and try and read a sentence that didn't make any sense, I would have no idea what I'm talking about at that point. Whereas if I read something that doesn't make any sense the day after I've written it, I know what I meant to say, so I can fix it and make it legible. Maybe even throw a fun word here and there. And so when I'm actually doing my second draft, it might not even be my second draft. It might be my 3rd draft or 4th draft. The first third of the book is something that has been in existence for 10 years at this point. In my current edit through, I'm slightly past that point that I had stopped at when I was a teenager, and I'm at all the new scenes, and that's really fun because I finally got to finish the book. I had no idea how it was going to end. I had a vague idea of how it was going to end, but I added some plot things that I'm super excited about that were not in the book originally. I'm so excited about them. It's a lot more mature than it was. It was a very straightforward fantasy story, and then it's still kind of straightforward, but not really. I don't know, I feel I worked really hard on it, and I'm really proud of it. So it's hard to describe without spoiling anything, so I'm just not going to describe it. I don't want to say it's something that's never been done before, but I think it is something that hasn't been done over and over again, or at least I really hope it is. I'm just so happy with how easy the editing has been, and it might not be a good thing that it's easy. I'll have to find out when I give it to my mom or someone to read, because that's who sees it first, and she'll probably pick up on some little sentence structure things that I messed up on that I missed reading it 50 times. So I'm really excited about the progress I'm making. Probably by the time I make another one of these vlogs, it'll probably be after I finish going through it, and then I can kind of see how I feel at that point. But right now, I'm not going to switch to another book until I finish it. I'm already on what chapter am I on? Like 16, I think? So that's actually not that far into the distance. I'm really happy with my progress, if you can't tell. And I'm kind of having a bit of a crisis thinking, do I not mind editing? But you know what? People change, and I guess that's okay. And I guess the fact that I've outlined paid off so much. So like, it paid off so much. Like, you have no idea. Like, I thought editing was the worst thing ever, but it's really not, since I outlined, which is amazing. And I think I just saved my own life. Outlining is actually the worst part, maybe, because you have to figure out where things go. So I guess it's just switched then. I do all the bad part, I do the worst part at the beginning, and then I do then everything's easier. Huh. It's interesting, because outlining is like editing in advance, and outlining gives me a headache. But I do it because it's so helpful. Anyway, I have to wrap this up somewhere. I hope everything is going well in your writing. If you want to share anything about your writing, or if you've done a recent writing blog or whatever, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to chat with you about writing. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about writing and my kind of not really crisis. And yeah, I almost said give me this video a thumbs up. I've been filming too many videos in a row. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I upload new videos on Mondays and every other Friday, plus the occasional bonus video, so please subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And as always, have fun and stay creative. Bye!
How do you write like tomorrow won't arrive? How do you write